Here's your wrestling news for June 10th, 2021. And your headlines for today include WWE not currently planning Brock Lesnar dream match for SummerSlam. Current WWE star takes a dig at Lio Rush on Twitter, apologized later. Braun Strowman reportedly charging exorbitant fee for post-WWE indie bookings. Eric Bischoff is convinced WWE is not going up for sale. Why indie promoters reportedly want to work with Buddy Murphy in his post-WWE career. Vince McMahon apologized to Aleister Black for failing to push him in WWE. Backstage reports of a push to bring Aleister Black back to WWE. Are AOP retired from wrestling? And more. We're starting today with SummerSlam as WWE is preparing a huge event for the August 21st pay-per-view in Allegiant Stadium, with it speculated that Brock Lesnar will headline the show. Lesnar left WWE in April 2020, and the belief is that the Beast will return to WWE alongside live fans to build to the long-anticipated dream match with WWE Champion Bobby Lashley. It now appears that won't be happening, as Dave Meltzer explained on the Sunday Night's Main Event podcast that Lesnar isn't slated for the show. He said, "As of a week ago, Lesnar and Lashley was not on the SummerSlam card. Now it can always change, they can always call him, they can always offer him more money, he will do it. Again, it's up to Vince, but they had not made the call a week ago. And I know there's forces there that don't want Lesnar there until it's a feud with Roman Reigns." As for Roman Reigns, it's believed he'll be defending the Universal Championship against John Cena at SummerSlam. Lesnar did recently reappear on WWE's roster page, meaning it's possible he's inked a new deal, but with the Tribal Chief already booked for SummerSlam, fans will have to wait until after August to see the Beast in action once again. Now, yesterday we reported that Lio Rush has announced his retirement from wrestling after an undisclosed injury suffered at AEW Double or Nothing. The New Japan star, who was the Joker during the Casino Battle Royal, received an outpouring of support following his announcement, but not everyone had kind words for Rush. In a now-deleted tweet, Greg Hamilton unloaded on the former Cruiserweight champion, saying, "Wow, unreal. If we all didn't have our own lives and families to take care of, I might just pretend I give a cursing emoji." On behalf of the wrestling family and community who work for a living, on to the gym. But when a fan asked the SmackDown announcer where his tweet about Rush went, he replied, "You tell me," but later apologized for his words in a follow-up tweet, saying that he has all the respect in the world for Rush, even if they didn't see eye to eye backstage. We'll have to see what Rush does next, as he has a budding music career, as well as a growing family, and hopefully Hamilton thinks twice before he lashes out. Release news next, as Braun Strowman was cut from WWE last week, and he's not wasted any time looking for bookings outside the company. Despite once saying that he'd rather hang up his boots than wrestle outside of WWE, the former Universal Champion has had a change of heart, as he's reportedly already booking post-WWE appearances on the Indies. According to PW Insider, Strowman doesn't come cheap, as he's charging a 5-figure number to make an appearance. Word is that Strowman is pretty set financially and doesn't need to immediately start booking indie appearances, but if a promoter is willing to pay tens of thousands of dollars for him, he would be interested. As for now, Strowman is under the standard 90-day non-compete clause with WWE, which expires August 31st, and time will tell which promotions pay big money for the former superstar. With WWE stock jumping in value and widespread cuts throughout the company, it's not hard to see why many believe WWE will soon be up for sale. Even people in WWE are starting to believe that Vince McMahon and Nick Khan are on the hunt for buyers, but Eric Bischoff isn't buying it. Speaking on his 83 Weeks podcast, Bischoff discussed the rumored sale and disputed the idea that it'll happen anytime soon. "The more I think about it, the more I'm convinced WWE is not for sale. I'm not suggesting that'll never happen, nobody knows for sure, and I'm not privy to any inside information. But I'm more and more convinced that what WWE is doing, and I think Nick Khan is probably the catalyst for a lot of this, is making good business decisions. What was their stock price before COVID? Somewhere around $70 a share, give or take. Now it dropped down to the mid-30s when COVID hit. I was pretty convinced that without touring, the idea that component of that business model was going to evaporate. I was kind of like, wow, this is not pretty for WWE. That entire company has been set up on a business model where live events and merchandising were such a big chunk of their overall revenue stream. The stock went down, and I thought it was going to be hard for this company to get back where they were. but I think the stock is around $56 or $58 a share. If I'm WWE and I'm on the board or the chairman or just a shareholder, I'm sitting here wondering what they are going to do to get that stock price back up to where it was. That should be everybody's goal. Nick Khan has made a lot of changes since taking over as WWE president from Michelle Wilson and George Barrios, including firing a lot of people at a time of record profits. WWE also has guaranteed money from their TV deals and their lucrative contract with Saudi Arabia, and whilst the company could be attractive to the right buyer, the bigger question is who would be in the market and have the revenue to make such a purchase. More release news as former Cruiserweight champion Buddy Murphy was cut last week, but he won't be struggling to make a living outside of WWE. PW Insider reports that ever since Murphy's release on June 2nd, that there's been a lot of top promoters who have been interested in working with him, with the feeling that he could have a ton of dream matches with some of the top indie workers. The Australian wrestler signed with WWE in 2013, moving from his homeland to do so, and like Strowman and all superstars released last week, is subject to a non-compete clause. That clause expires on August 31st, and with promoters lining up to work with him, the self-professed best-kept secret of WWE won't be a secret for much longer. Like Murphy, Aleister Black was another victim of WWE's recent cuts, but he's had plenty to say about his tenure in the company. Speaking recently on Oral Sessions, Black, now going by Tommy End, discussed the final minutes of his time as a WWE superstar and revealed a lengthy call he had with WWE's most important people when he was cut. He said, "I had a conversation with Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon that lasted about 30 to 45 minutes. It was a long talk, but it was a good talk. Again, full of praise, complimenting my ability to be honest with them whilst being respectful, and just saying how much he respected my creative thought process. And he also understood that there were things during my time in the main roster that did not go the way he wanted it to go, and he said, 'I'm sorry for that, I apologize, let's do it this way, I'm going to send you home for a bit. We're going to get some separation between you and Kevin Owens, and when you come back, we're off to the races.'" Black did return to TV after this absence, but was released not long after, though he may not be gone from WWE TV for very long. That's according to PW Insider, who report that the general consensus in WWE is that the Dutch superstar was cut too soon, and was a victim of broken promises and stop-start pushes rather than any of his own actions leading to his release. There is also reportedly a push within WWE for the company to bring him back, but it isn't noted which superstars are part of that movement. Ultimately, only Vince McMahon can decide whether Aleister Black makes a return to WWE TV, but it certainly helps his chances that there's a lot of people still in WWE on the Dutchman's side. More release news as AOP were cut from the WWE last September and haven't competed since, with their last wrestling match being an 8-person tag team victory on the March 9th, 2020 Raw. Recently, a report claimed that the reason they haven't wrestled in over a year is because they've chosen to retire from the ring, but that isn't the case. On Twitter, Razor addressed the retirement rumors with a photo of himself, Akam, and Paul Ellering giving the middle fingers, with the caption making it clear that the team isn't done yet. This is an interesting situation, as the initial report noted that the team were telling interested indie promoters that they're not taking bookings anymore, but the Authors of Pain aren't finished as first believed. At WrestleMania Backlash, The Miz suffered some kind of injury that is keeping him from the ring, but that won't stop WWE's resident A-lister from making appearances for other sports. It's been confirmed that The Miz will be part of the festivities for the Major League Baseball All-Star Game next month and will be at the Celebrity Softball Game. The Miz didn't specify if he'd be playing or just merely there, but that all depends on how his injured knee is doing. What we do know is that the former WWE champion is excited to take part, and fans will get to see him at the big game on July 11th at Coors Field. And we're ending today with some documentary news, as several of WWE's own projects have been nominated for some very prestigious awards. As part of the New York Festival's TV and Film Awards, the Second Mountain WWE 24 documentary, detailing Edge's return, has been nominated for the Biography/Profiles Award, whilst the Chronicle doc on Jey Uso is in the running for the Best Cinematography for a production. The WWE Untold documentary on Goldberg's legendary streak is up for the Best Streaming Documentary Award, And we'll have to see if WWE adds any awards to their collection when the winners are announced on October 12th at the Storytellers Gala honoring Radio and TV Film Awards in Las Vegas, Nevada. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.